The Dutch are voting in a general election, and it's a tight race between the anti-establishment Party for Freedom and Premier Mark Rutte's ruling party. RT correspondent Charlotte Dubinsky now joining me live with the latest. Now, Charlotte, good to see you. You've been speaking to some of the locals there. What's the mood like at the polls?
Well, it's very divided here in the Netherlands. There are actually 28 parties vying for 150 seats in the lower parliament here in The Hague. And many people saying they're still not quite sure who they're going to vote for. But today is the day that they have to vote. Now, one of the most contentious figures in this election is the leader of the PVV, Geert Wilders. You may know him for his bleached blonde hair and his stance, his anti-Islam, anti-immigration stance. I've been speaking to Mr. Wilders today, and this is what he had to say.
I'm no Donald Trump. You cannot compare me to Donald Trump, but indeed most of the press, certainly the Dutch press, are not too positive and helpful. They don't have to be helpful, but still very critical. But that's okay. They are independent. There will be a tough force, and there has already been a tough force against us. But at the end of the day, the people decide. It's election day. It's the crown jewel of any democracy today.
Now, I also asked Mr. Wilders about whether people should be afraid of his party, which has been riding high in the opinion polls. He said nobody should be afraid of us. We are not against anyone. But if people want to come here to the Netherlands, then they must respect our values. They must integrate. Now, we've been out in the streets in the Netherlands asking people what they think of Mr. Wilders' party. This is what they had to say. Who will you be voting for?
Wilders.
Why?
Because I think this is the only person who say the things straight. He want to wake up the people, do something.
I think he's a fascist.
Why do you think he's a fascist?
Because he discriminate the Muslims.
Why would you vote for Wilders?
Protest. The people are disappointed in a lot of stuff, and especially in the neighborhoods where are a lot of refugees. And
I think he's a racist because that you cannot hide it.
He wants to ban a whole religion, a whole group like the foreign Muslims from Morocco, Turkey, and everything. Yeah, he wants to ban them from this country.
Some people say that he's a fascist, he's a racist.
No.
Do you think that?
No.
Why not?
He wants our country back. The Dutch people are leaving now a message to the government now. It's enough. Enough is enough.
Well, Mr. Wilders himself told me today that he may not win this election, but even if the PVV becomes the largest party, they are unlikely to form a coalition, and he is unlikely to become the next Prime Minister. However, what the PVV have done, which is incredibly interesting in this election, is they have pushed the agenda, the immigration agenda, onto the platform, and that has meant that politicians like the country's current Prime Minister, Mark Rutte, who is known for his liberal values and just a year ago was welcoming immigrants here into the Netherlands, has now more recently shifted to the right and said, again, if you don't respect our values, don't come to our country or leave. So it's very interesting how the PVV have really catapulted this issue of immigration into the forefront of this election, a litmus test for anti-establishment parties across Europe in what is an incredibly important European election year.
RT correspondent Charlotte Dubinsky, thank you.